back to the Barrel Talk Podcast. This is episode 127. Joined on the call again by Nick Gwynn. How we doing?
You're doing good, man. How you doing?
Good. We're back
Sir.
with something different. Kind of trying to start and do these at least more consistently, at least once a month. We all are big movie people, and kind of just, I wouldn't say we're like super deep like into movies, but like just casually, we like to talk about them.
Yeah. I don't look like super deep into them.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out the inner meanings of everything, but like I enjoy watching movies a lot.
Yeah. So we kind of have this
Like talking
platform
about.
to kind of give our thoughts and opinions on certain movies. So we're going to be talking about Deadpool trailer, breaking that down a little bit, going to go over our top 5 personal movies from last year, 2023, going to go over some movies that we are really kind of hyped for, anticipating for this upcoming year that are supposed to come out in 2024. Got some, I have a personal list. I'm a sucker for a good thriller movie. I have my top 5 personal thrillers, just for people that haven't seen them. We're going to talk about the Madam Web stuff that kind of came out at the red carpet opening. Reviews have been terrible about that. We'll talk about that a little bit. And then we kind of talk about movies in general over the past couple of years, because we do have some takes about that. But we can start out with the Deadpool trailer, which kind of Super Bowl kind of expected this to kind of happen during the Super Bowl commercial. Comes out in June 26th. What were your initial thoughts of it?
Fire. It was fire. It was everything I wanted out of it. Not too much Wolverine. They didn't give it obviously like any. They didn't really show him, just like little side angles, but it was just exactly what I needed. Some Ryan Reynolds, MCU, the TVA. It's crazy.
Is it just me, or do I feel like, at least I interpreted the trailer, are we just going to see Deadpool in the position of Loki in the first season?
I don't think so.
Because
I think it's going to be weird.
It looks like it's the same thing happening from the start. At the start of the series Loki, which involves the TVA, it was Loki had the Tesseract, then he was in a position in time where he wasn't supposed to be. TVA plops in, and I think the birthday scene is a point in time where he's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And that's when the TVA comes in, and it looks like, I texted you right when I watched the full thing, it looked like it was like a prequel to what we've already seen in Loki.
Yeah.
So I was
or like after. I don't know. I think it's going to be different. I don't know what they're going to do. But
at least the concept of what him and Loki went through I think is going to be kind of the same. They're both were in places they shouldn't be, and they're both getting used by the TVA for something.
Yeah, and which I honestly could be smart. Just making connections to your other properties that you've made recently, at least especially the ones that have been successful. So I think it's smart, but I also think they're going to make like, because it's Deadpool, that there's always there's going to be some kind of twist to it. Because like they're gonna give him whatever like assignment that this guy, whatever like Paradox, I think is what I've heard his name is, like basically the Mobius of this movie.
Yeah.
And whatever like assignment he gives him, Deadpool, like he ain't gonna listen. He's gonna like do some different shit. Whether it's like I've been hearing stuff about him like killing his alternate selves, or like killing alternate fucking Wolverines until he finds the one that he's looking for. Whatever it is, it's going to be something like different, I think. They're not going to go exactly down the same route, but I see what you're saying. It's going to have similar structure and like how they get him and, big idea what they do with him. Just different execution because it's Deadpool. It's such a different kind of like character to work with.
I think they need to, there is no better time to kind of really flush out kind of what they want to tell in terms of a story, because I still to this day believe Multiverse of Madness was the most wasted potential in a movie. When you hear Multiverse of Madness, you think of crazy shit happening, but really they didn't go into a bunch of different multiverses like you would have thought going into the movie.
Yeah.
This movie, I want to see them fully flesh out that idea.
Yeah, which I'd be fine with.
And I think Deadpool is the perfect person you could do, because he's not tied to anything you're doing currently. Yes, I don't know. I have no idea.
Could be, yeah.
To do with that.
Yeah.
But he's somebody that you can really just do anything you want with, And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be the whole basis of having this movie in general. I feel like there's going to be a lot of fan service delivered in this movie, kind of like on a No Way Home scale. You're going to
A
see
bunch of cameos.
yes, a ton of cameos. I feel like, because you said there might not be as many, I think there's going to be a good amount, but I think the cameos are going to be big. I don't think there's
Yes,
going to be
I
a bunch
think
of
there's going
small
to be.
shit.
Yeah, I think like I've been hearing like so many different people could cameo. And it's like I don't think it's going to be that many,
Hmm.
but like yeah, they're definitely going to bring in some heavy hitters. I
I
feel
was
like instead of
interested.
just instead of just like a bunch of small ones.
I was interested to see, like, so if my theory of this being kind of like a prequel to what we've seen at Loki, I was interested to see if we see like any kind of variant of like Kang at all. Like, if it's, even if it's like not Jonathan Majors or whatever they want to do with that. But I was interested to
Right.
see if like he even gets mentioned, or like what is, do they even, like how in Loki it was He Who Remains, like do they ever even talk, are they going
That's
to
a big
talk about
question.
that
Yeah,
in
that's a
like the
big question.
TVA?
That's like basically like what are they going to do from here? That's going to tell us.
Yeah.
Are they going to if they bring up Kang, then it's obvious that we're going to keep him in, and they're going to figure out a way to recast him. But if they don't, then I feel like it's going to be a pretty significant sign that he's not in their future plans as much.
I think they're good. I think the recast route is gonna be the way they do go. You've seen like kind of fan
You
cast
should.
all over
You
Twitter,
should.
because I think like
You're already too far into it.
it's that, but I'm like, I don't understand what you pivot to. Like what do you, because you don't have Fantastic Four, so the whole Doctor Doom realm and the Fantastic Four movie is still so far away from even happening. It feels like,
The
but
only
like
one that they've set up is Kingpin, and like, do you really want to like pivot to Kingpin being the big bad?
I
Like after
think
we're in this big multiversal thing, we just go down to the Street Fighter guy.
I think I think that's what people want Tom Holland's next Spider-Man movie to be, and I do agree with that, because I think Kingpin, if they do the story right and not make it Disney-ish, but they make it more of Kingpin from the Daredevil Netflix, I think that is what people want to see.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, they have money to make, and like there's a whole target audience for kind of the more PG era stuff. But I think Kingpin could be a nice little. He could be like how they had Ultron before
Yeah,
Thanos. I would love to
like a
see
stepping like a
yeah,
stepping stone on the way to the big bad.
I would love to see Kingpin used in like a movie kind of setting, and like Captain America: Brave New World gets pushed back. So like I have no idea what their state is, but I think Deadpool could kind of give them at least some kind of clear cut direction of where they do want to go, because there isn't really a direction, and part of it isn't their fault because
Yeah,
of the whole Jonathan Major stuff. So
so much. Yeah,
I
so
can't
much shit has
blame them
happened.
for that. But we also have to look in the same light. Before the Jonathan Major stuff even came out, the only concrete project you had that people loved was Loki,
Yeah,
and like everything outside of that, I personally thought the Marvels was better than what people thought it was gonna be. But even then, like Loki was so out of this world compared to the other projects that they were leading up to, and I feel like
yeah.
Deadpool could be on that level in terms of a movie, not a TV series.
Deadpool. Yes, Deadpool could be like $1 billion movie
Oh,
easily,
easily.
easily. If they do it right, which I have full faith that they will.
I
I
think
have
they
full faith. I think it's gonna do the thing. I think this movie's gonna be great.
I think it's definitely going to be like that. I feel like it's going to kind of how people perceived Across the Spider Verse this past year. I feel like it's going to be like Deadpool's going to be that movie this year in the summer that like people talk about in that same kind of light, because it is Ryan Reynolds, it is Hugh Jackman, it is going to have all the cameos of other big actors and stuff like that from the past. So I don't know, I'm
Yeah,
very excited for it. I think it's obviously probably my number one movie I'm anticipated to see, just because
yeah,
it's
me too.
it's Deadpool for one, and it's Ryan Reynolds. But it's also like it feels like this is the Deadpool movie that's on a grander scale with
It
what they're
is.
doing.
They made the first two, and then this one is like it really is like pushed up a level.
Yeah,
Like he's joining the MCU. Like
that's what
he's
I feel
joining
like
the
it
big
is.
the big universe.
Hmm.
It's crazy. I don't know.
But
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited for it.
we can kind of pivot to talking about this past year.
Oh, did you see the Secret Wars comic on there? There's a Secret Wars comic on the ground in like the last shot
I see.
that had Doctor Doom on it.
I gotta do my due diligence. I gotta get the whole full-fledged new Rockstars video in my system
Oh
to
yeah,
kind of
it's
get
out. It's
everything.
out.
I gotta tune in. I gotta
Okay,
tune in.
okay, it's out. Man,
But
wild shit.
yeah, and like shout out to them because they find shit that I just like the time it takes to go through it. And they go through whole movies and break down Easter eggs and shit. It's like the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like the connections they make to the comics and like all
It's
these other
wild.
different kind of
Yeah, it's
things.
wild.
It's insane. But I definitely got to tune into that. But we can kind of pivot towards our top five and this past year. Kind of a very up and down year, in my opinion. Obviously, it sucks because COVID pushed a lot of stuff back, and we kind of haven't seen certain movies that were supposed to be in this year due to a writer's strike or due to COVID being, I think, pushed back everything for years to come still. But
Yep.
because one of the movies that we're getting in 2024, I think would have easily hopped into my top five in Dune Part 2. But because that was supposed to come out in, I believe, September or November, and it got pushed back, and it comes out March 1st, I believe, this year. So, I mean, I've. Go ahead, you can start with yours.
So at number 5, 20. So okay, I do want to preface this because I did not see a few of just the big name movies of the year. All right, I didn't see Oppenheimer. I know I'm saying I love movies, and I didn't see Oppenheimer, which is wild. But yeah, I didn't see it. My girlfriend never wanted to go see it with me. She wasn't into it. So, like, there are some other movies that won't be in here. So, like,
And I will preference
bear with me.
for your situation, you don't live with the homies
Yeah.
anymore, so you don't live in the same city as us. So whenever because we went like 8 or 9 deep to go see Oppenheimer when it first dropped.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Y'all go as a group to see
yeah.
some movies. And, like, I'm not going to go to the movies by myself. So, and if my girlfriend doesn't want to go with me, then I'm going by myself. And I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's just some movies I couldn't see. But, that being said, at number 5, I had Gran Turismo. Very, very good movie. I was not expecting much going into it. I was like, dang, like, this is a video game racing movie.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, just the way that they did the characters and the story, I mean, I couldn't believe it was a true story. I thought that was crazy. David Harbour, amazing job, as always.
He made the movie.
Yeah,
For sure.
amazing job. There were like a few spots, like the beginning was a little fast paced, and like they didn't really get to flesh out a few of the characters, like his manager, like that other, like basically the third guy. Like I don't even really learn much about him. He's just kind of a sleazeball. You just kind of learn that throughout the movie, but pretty good movie. It was pretty good.
Even like the dad, I felt like at certain points could have been fleshed out more.
Yeah, 100%. Like their relationship, for sure.
For what they rushed to get to the actual parts that I feel like people wanted to see more so is like
Yeah,
because I feel like it's one of those movies that highly benefits from going to see it in a theater.
yes,
And just getting to have that experience, like because it's one of the best and I've seen a lot of racing movies. This is like it's probably like the best in terms of racing that I've seen since a movie like Ford vs Ferrari. In terms of what it looks like and how they shoot all the racing scenes.
yeah.
And
I was thinking about that because I didn't see that in theaters,
mm-hmm.
and I was thinking about it while I was watching. I was like, dude, I really wish I could have seen this in like because I know they got those weird ones like 3 IMAX like XD bullshit. Like, bro, imagine seeing that in like XD. That would have been wild.
It's definitely something that does give it a boost because it's an experience movie. I feel like,
yeah,
and it really depends on how you interpret the experience that you're getting in a theater compared to like watching it at home.
mm-hmm.
But it didn't make my top 5. I definitely think it's an underrated movie for sure because going into the movie and going through like the summer, because I believe it came out end of the summer or like in August or something, and this you basically saw like the entire movie when you would go see another movie from the trailers.
Yes, yeah, I do. I remember that.
And like the promotion for it was a lot to where like I went into the movie with an open mind and I came out enjoying it.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
it's
thought it was
one of
pretty
the
good.
more slept on movies. But like when you think of it and you like realize it's a true story and how crazy it actually is to like see to like actually like understand like what actually happened and how it's a true story, it really makes you think of the movie differently.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, man, like this dude really did this.
Yeah, like
that's wild.
Like it's something that you would see in a movie, but it actually happened.
Yeah. Wild shit.
I mean,
it's pretty good.
Um, so I'll go into my five. I have, like I said, I'm a sucker for a good thriller. I got Luther the Fallen Sun. It's a Netflix movie. Netflix, like, I guess original you could call it. And not in theaters, but when I tell you, great story, Idris Elba leads. It's like it's a kind of like a serial killer kind of thriller. Kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat the entire movie. For a Netflix movie, I was really blown away because I'm a big fan of Idris Elba, a big fan of thriller movies.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
That's a mine.
in
That's
terms
yourself
of
about
movies
them.
I've seen this year, I really got done with the movie. I'm like, wow, like on Netflix, no, it like this is a good top tier like Netflix movie. Recommend people to go check it out who haven't, but I got that at just my five spot. I think it's just a for people that like thrillers and kind of like that uncomfortable feel when watching a thriller, edge of your seat kind of thing. I feel like it's just a perfect kind of movie, especially for this year when I feel like thriller movies didn't really happen a whole lot this year and there wasn't any big ones to where I went to the movies and I really liked this thriller or this horror movie like that. I feel like this, especially just at home watching it, I really think it's deserving of being in my top five.
Right? Hey, valid. Valid. Not a big thriller guy myself. Just can't
Oh,
do
I
it.
know. I
Just
know.
not a big fan. At my four spot, I got The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I really fuck with this movie. Um, it was long as shit. I remember that. I think if you like the Hunger Games movies, you're really gonna like this. Bunch of twists and turns. Like you get to, they really give you the Snow side of it, the President Snow,
hmm
and like make you look at him as like kind of a good guy until like he does do some bad shit, but like you definitely see where he's coming from,
Yeah.
and it's I don't know, I like that shit because I was like seeing the first four Hunger Games, I was like, damn, like what did this shit used to be like,
Because
and like
it's
you get to
we're
see
so
it.
removed from the kind of the like the whole
The
Hunger
first
Games
four,
franchise.
Katniss, yeah.
So like we're so well removed from that. And I also really like this movie. I love how dark it was. I feel like I'm
Yep.
also a sucker for like give me something real. Give me something dark. Don't give me no
Mm-hmm.
sugar-coated shit. I want to see like really like dark shit. And
Just show me what happened, man.
it might
Like
sound
show me what you got.
crazy listening to, but like I want to see some authentic shit. And I feel like this movie, with as dark as it got and as gritty as it got, star-studded cast, really
Mm-hmm.
got their kind of point across. The only problem I really have is kind of the
I
movie.
saw Mahershala Ali come out and I started laughing. I was like, why is he in this fucking movie?
I
But it was funny. Yeah, there's a bunch of dog actors.
I just think the movie kind of just like ended like it seemed like it was like this seemed like a movie
That's the
that
one
had
gripe
a
I had
part
with it.
like it had a part two. Like it seemed like
Yes.
this is a movie that had a part two with the way it ended.
I kept thinking like, when is this movie gonna fucking end? Like, what's gonna happen? And then they give it like such a weird ending.
So
Like it. You go ahead.
like when Snow's in the woods and like he's starting to go crazy because all the Mockingjays and everything else and he's starting to go crazy. I thought the movie was gonna end right there,
Yeah.
and I'm like sitting there. I'm like, it's already been like 2.5. Like this could be like I knew going into it. This was like it wasn't like a part one. But I'm sitting here thinking I was like, wow, this really isn't like a part one. I really thought genuinely like it could have been a part one to a part two later down the line, with if they
Mm-hmm.
would have ended it there. And then it kind of just like, okay, so this kind of shaped him into like being, and he gets back into like into the capital and everything else, and that's kind of his development and why who he is who he is.
Yeah.
But I
It's
just
fire. Yeah. I just thought they did a really good job at showing his side, like who he was, and
mhm.
it was really good. It was really good. Some crazy ideas of what they were doing. I was like, man, they really about to do another Hunger Games, and it gets fucking blown up. I was like, what the fuck? What's going on?
yeah, I'm kind of
But
it's
really
on my
enjoyed it.
list. I'll kind of talk more a little bit about it when I have it.
Yep.
But at my four, I'm gonna go Oppenheimer. Um, man, I would like to put it higher, but I think my top three is kind of in terms of what I like. But Oppenheimer, man, like the experience alone, I haven't had that kind of feeling and that kind of hype drawn around a movie. Obviously, because it was Barbie along with Oppenheimer that same like release day on that Thursday when we went and seen it. But like it's really kind of God, like just the experience, the hype leading up to it, a Christopher Nolan movie with how many people, how many stars were in the cast. In my opinion, RDJ, fucking phenomenal. I mean, RDJ, in my opinion, kind of made the movie kind of being the main antagonist of the entire movie towards the end of it. But I feel like the only thing I wish we saw more scenes of like them prepping and making the bomb. And then, but like the second, because it was 3 hours. So like
Yeah.
you you feel it and you don't feel it because towards the back half, once you get past the bomb and the the back half is more the repercussions of it. So like once you get to that point, then you're like starting to connect everything and like see how everything is piecing and puzzling in together. But like I mean, the experience alone and how hyped the movie was, I mean, it is obviously easily top five. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if people had it at one in their personal list as well. But I mean,
Right.
it's just the whole like Christopher Nolan really barely ever misses. And the only movie I could say Christopher Nolan missed on is just how people interpret some of his movies because they can be complex in terms of understanding what's going on as Tenet. But like
Yeah, I did. Yeah, Tenant.
in terms of what this Cillian Murphy, phenomenal fucking job. Heard he would be open to doing a Peaky Blinders movie.
Ooh,
All for it.
man.
All for it. RDJ, phenomenal fucking job. I mean, them two, the chemistry them two had was just phenomenal. And RDJ, I mean, this is like kind of his first like bigger thing since Iron Man, like on this kind of a scale. And I think he
Yeah,
knocked it out of the park for sure because Oppenheimer was just an absolute
love
classic.
RDJ.
It was a
Love
classic.
RDJ.
Something that you haven't seen somehow.
I have not, but I'm going
But
to. I got to see it at some point, right?
yes, but at my
Have
four,
to.
solidified at my four.
I like that. At my three, I got Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Happened early in the year, so it's like really fucking forgettable. I
That's my
looked
three
like I
too.
looked at my.
That's my
Okay, it
three
is
too.
okay. I looked at like Letterbox and I was like, damn, like it really in my 2023 list.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was a perfect closing to just their trilogy. Um, just man, High Evolutionary was a dog.
Yep.
He was a dog. The story with Rocket, just pulled at the heartstrings, crazy.
From the
Um,
jump, from the start of the
from the
movie.
jump, they didn't waste no time. Adam Warlock wanted the smoke when the fucking credits started. Um, I thought they did Adam Warlock kind of dirty a little bit. They didn't work him as well. Like he needed a lot more screen time, and he just needs either another get into a show or another movie where he gets to get fleshed out a little bit
Yeah.
because he's a really cool character that we could use
I
and a
will
great
say
actor.
when he said "Don't be rash," I
That was hilarious.
see the why I have this movie like above Oppenheimer and like securely in my top three. It's one of the only movies, and kind of like with just like that cast that they have for the Guardians, where like the jokes just deliver. The
Yeah,
comedic being like some Marvel movies and just movies in general, some of the comedy just doesn't hit.
yeah.
And
Some of
it's
it's forced and
and
it's bad.
it's not the easiest thing to do, mind you. But like I feel like it just delivers in these Guardians movies on a different level. The soundtrack's always fire. The story in this one was a higher scale
Hmm.
to the previous two. Like
The hallway scene with No Sleep Till Brooklyn,
I think
beautiful.
that's one of the best fight scenes like in all of MCU in terms of just even in just in superhero movies in general. Like
Yep.
you
I love
can't.
how they handled the fallout of Gamora
Mm-hmm.
from like Endgame because they you know what they even had like Chris Pratt say something about it. He's like, I'll just explain what happened in the movie. Like they're in the elevator. He said, yeah, in Endgame she died and now she's back and she doesn't know who I am. And they also didn't force it. They didn't force them to get back together,
Mm-hmm.
which they could have easily done. And they like build her own story with the Ravagers, which I think is great. I think they used what they could with they got fucked over in that situation. James Gunn did, so
Especially
did the best of what he could.
for in what phase Marvel is in right now, where they are kind of, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, they're struggling to kind of put
Mm-hmm.
out good product and good movie. This delivered. I mean, it just delivered. Comedy,
Yeah,
story, with the characters. I love where they win every single way, with how you kind of leave the door open for Chris Pratt and Star-Lord's character to kind of do his own thing. You kind of leave the door open for Rocket and all of them to kind of do their own thing as the Guardians still. You could even
Yep.
do a whole little side thing with Gamora if they wanted to. They left the door open for different possibilities. Obviously, James Gunn's not with that project anymore, and he's doing shit with DC. But they
Yep.
left the door open to not forget about those characters, but kind of be able to kind of use them when they need to. Because
Yeah.
in terms of like
100%.
Rocket and what they were doing with the Guardians still kind of attached, I automatically went to a Disney Plus series with that because of how they were pushing content. Now I don't know what they're doing. I don't think it's really up in the air what they're doing, but no matter, Guardians 3, it delivered. It just did.
Delivered. It delivered. It's fire.
Mm-hmm.
So that was your 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do my 2. My 2 was Barbie. It was Barbie. It was a good movie. You know, I don't. It got so much hate. Oh man, you either love this movie or you hate it. I thought they did pretty good. It was funny. Ryan got like the whole cast just did great. You just keep looking. There's another really good actor, and I thought they worked. You know, going back into the real world and a bunch of woman issues. Like I don't know. I can't speak much on it because I'm not a woman, so I can't really like give my opinion on all that. But like I thought they did a good job with what they were trying to do. They delivered.
See,
It was funny.
Barbie's the only big time like blockbuster movie I didn't see. I've seen it in parts. I just haven't sat down and like really like took in the entire
Watched the whole
movie.
thing.
And it's like
Right.
nothing. Just it's not even like because it's Barbie. It's just like I just haven't gotten around like to the point like same with you and Oppenheimer. Like I haven't
Just
gotten
haven't
around
gotten to
to
it.
just sitting down and watching it. And it's crazy because the movie came out in the summer, but I mean, I've heard nothing but great things. Like you said,
Yeah.
it's either you love it or you hate it. I can't really give my opinion because I haven't seen the movie fully yet. I've only seen it in parts. But I mean, whenever you have a cast like that and you have Margot Robbie as your fucking lead, I mean, there isn't too much fault where you can go
Yeah.
wrong.
I mean, Margot Robbie did an amazing job. All the actors and actresses did great. They had some fire songs in there. Uh, like I said, it was hilarious.
What?
I was nonstop laughing. I'm not gonna lie. They had so many good jokes in that movie.
The only thing where I guess I can kind of give my opinion on, I guess, is like I saw people saying that they could have, or this actress or that actress could have played like Barbie. I'm like, no, like
It made sense. This was a perfect casting. I
like
think.
I don't think you have a better cast. I
No.
don't think you have a better casting. I think this is like a perfect cast. The only thing I do think, don't try to go out here and make a sequel. You're gonna make money off of it, of
No.
course.
No. No.
But from
No.
what I've heard about the movie, I feel like giving it a sequel is kind of an injustice to the first one. And sequels are
There just would be
never.
no reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
There'd just be no
Just have it be
reason.
a one-off.
You made your money. It went perfectly. You literally you had your shit with Oppenheimer. It went perfectly. There's nothing you could have done more except fucking have men not hate on
They
it.
had a 2023 for how much hate I will end up giving it later on. That summer stretch where you went across the Spider-Verse. I'm a big Mission Impossible fan. I thought that was just a perfect kind of. I was in the movies all summer. Like Across the Spider-Verse came out at the start of the summer. I'm a big Mission Impossible fan. That came out like the week before Barbie and Oppenheimer. You have the whole Barbie and Oppenheimer kind of thing. That
Yeah,
was huge for the movies. And then like that they had 2023 had a very good run in the summer.
it did. Yeah, I don't know. There wasn't we were talking about there wasn't a lot of great movies, but we just keep saying it was.
I think
There's maybe the outsides. I don't know, maybe the outer months.
because I wanted to talk about it later on, but I can kind of wrap up because I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure we got
what's
the
your-
same movie at 1.
Yeah, we do.
I
for
have
sure.
at 2. I have Hunger Games, Songbirds and Snakes. Kind of what we said earlier. I just think, in terms of if you're a Hunger Games fan, this movie got everything you wanted out of it. I love how dark it was. Viola Davis, fucking masterpiece.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I just wish I damn near wish we had a part two with how it ended. I like how it ended, but I don't at the same. I'm kind of up in the air. I don't know how I feel about it because I wish it would have got a part two because I love seeing like a fully fleshed out character development be told like that. And I'm just like, but it makes sense. That's how Snow became who he is, and it kind of like justifies you when we've already seen how he is when he's older, and
Right.
then you're like, I see how he is. Like I understand why he is the way he is.
100%.
I'm not gonna say
Like,
he's like some misunderstood villain.
exactly. Yeah. You don't like go into like, okay, he's a good guy, but like I can understand
If
why he
if
is
you
like
put
this.
yourself in his shoes, you understand why he
Like,
is
man,
who he is.
he went through it. His brother. Oh, crazy. That was a good movie.
It just, I just
I gotta watch it again.
for a
I,
movie
I, I only watched it once. I gotta watch it
for a
again.
movie where I didn't expect it to really do much for me, it did.
Nope.
And then add
I thought like, damn, like are they really just gonna make another Hunger Games movie? Try too hard.
and I
Nah,
liked
that was a
all
banger.
the first four Hunger Games movies. I really did. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I was to the point where I'm like, how how is it gonna
Like
be
who's? I thought I was just thinking like who's gonna be our next big? Like, we had Jennifer Lawrence. Like who's gonna take over
hmm
there? That's what I was thinking.
But now I'm
Yeah, I don't even think you need it. Like I don't even like it was such a good story. They worked it really well. I don't think you really need like a new face of it.
yeah. So
Like of course they have a few of them, but you know.
going through my like TikTok like after I watched the movie, obviously like I was just seeing a bunch of different theories of like now that we saw this kind of like I guess spin-off from the original. Like God, I would love to see like how Hamish games were. Like if they were to ever go down that realm of like showing how different
Ooh,
characters in the original, how their games went, how their stories are. I would be all for it, especially Hamish's stories, because I think they hinted at it in one of the Hunger Games movies. I could be wrong, but it was like duos, like on some Fortnite
really?
shit. Yeah, in Hamish's games.
Fortnite shit.
So I
I
think
don't
that
even. I don't remember that.
I think that
That's
would be something
crazy.
cool to see from the franchise going forward.
Just yeah. I mean, look, they make good movies. I would like. I'm not going to complain about getting another Hunger Games movie. So
No, especially
if
with
they were to
how
make whatever they
good
want
this
to make
past
it
one
on,
did.
yeah. So if they want to go on to another character, fuck it, give me it.
And then we have the same number one.
Yep. Yep.
I'm
Strays.
hearing reports from people that are like writers and people around the Beyond, the third movie in this trilogy, that says Beyond
Mm-hmm.
is the best. Like I think it's hard to top this one. Like they're on a very unique kind of thing to where you're looking at if they bang with the third film, you're looking at the best trilogy in all of just movies and
In all the
cinema and
movies.
like in cinema.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the easy
Is
pick,
it right now? Is it the Dark Knight trilogy?
in my opinion, I think that's just the best fully fledged out trilogy.
I mean, right now, yeah. Like, I mean, number one and two are fucking bangers. So
And number
if they do it
two,
right, man, if they spend the time on it, shit could be insane.
so this and to think without the writer strike, even if I think it could have been pushed back, but looking at how it was supposed to come out in March, the Beyond Spider Verse movie, the date got taken away, but there hasn't been anything that says it's not coming out in 2024. So I still have my hopes up from that. But this is to the point where like take all the time you need. I don't want anything. Don't fuck up the
I don't need
trilogy.
to see it this year.
Yeah, like
I do not need to see it this year.
I want it to be a fully finished product. Don't rush to put it out. Like Metro Boomin with the soundtrack and the score, like
It was so
fucking
fire. So
fire.
fire.
And then like, God, I don't think I've been that engaged in a movie for like in so long. Like I was sitting there and like well, like I said, we filled a whole entire row of our friends when we went. So like I'm sitting there, I was very like I probably could have sat there for like another 3 hours if need be. That's how engaged I was in the movie, and it just delivered. I knew it was going to deliver. It exceeded my expectations going into the movie because
Yeah, me
my
too.
expectations were already super high. I mean, it's a movie with no flaws. Even the ending makes sense. The only thing I don't want to see
No, the
improved,
ending's crazy.
yes, like the ending, like
It's like,
it leads right
oh,
into the second, into the third.
Like the chase from Miguel was just amazing. Like that whole scene,
I
that whole
need
sequence
the
was
third
fucking
one
great.
because you see how like they've done it with some characters where it's like the comic book and it gives their like own little character intro. I
Yes.
need that.
Yeah.
I need the third one to immediately start with Miguel O'Hara's comic book intro. I wanted to start with that, but I want it to be the only thing I hope they don't do. Don't make Miles immediately trust Gwen off rip. I want to see some more character development there.
Mm-hmm.
I want
I want to see him pissed.
yes,
I want to see
I
him
want to see him.
angry.
I want to see a fight scene with him and himself from the other universe, who's the Prowler. I would like to see him in a Gwen Stacy fight scene. I would like to see
I want to see him in his fucking Sinister Six fight.
yes,
I ain't gonna lie. I want to see a Sinister Six fight.
because I want to see how he.
What I actually think's gonna happen is I think they're gonna fuck. I think they're gonna fuck around and make that Prowler not a bad guy. I think they're gonna make him nice, and I think he's gonna like ask him to help fight the Sinister Six.
Okay.
But that's like again just a theory that I thought of. But like,
We
man,
made a video,
whatever they do, I trust.
we made a video. Oh, like after the fact, after the movie, when we went and seen it. I can't remember the theory, but at the time I cooked something. I can't even think of it now because it was.
We gotta
so
go
long
back.
ago.
We gotta go back.
I had a wicked theory, but the only things I don't want is those things I just said. For the love of fucking God, do not make the end of this movie him going into live action. Don't do it. Not everything needs to be live action.
I don't think they're going to.
Even like
I think there's going to be a live action Miles Morales soon,
yes,
but I don't think they're going to do it in this movie.
Don't tie it to this.
I think they might.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll tie it. I think there's going to be some kind of like hint thrown out, like maybe it's like Daniel Glover like escaping or something.
Yeah.
Like maybe even it's something as small as that.
Yeah.
But like I think they'll hint at it.
But I don't want to
sure.
see a realm where like he is live action by the end of the movie.
Yeah. No.
Because I just think
Please no.
They're on the cusp of something.
Don't use this same Miles Morales and then just make him live action.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Do not do that.
They're on the cusp of like greatness, in my opinion.
Yeah. Like, dude, there's like so many different levels to that movie, like of the movie.
For this,
like there's like the spot.
Yes, like the
go
spot
kill
is
his
phenomenal.
dad.
The story's gonna go in so many different ways. I'm so excited for it.
They got you like loving the family. Like, oh my, that motherfucker is dying. He is dead.
Good writing and character development can work even in an animated movie to the highest level.
Yep.
And if it would just be great for just a superhero genre, and for just animation in general to see like if they hit on this third movie in the trilogy, to have an animated superhero movie trilogy be pretty much the best trilogy ever, along with The Dark Knight. I feel like it would just be huge in terms of what they're building as a genre and how superhero movies are kind of like looked upon in Hollywood and everything else like that. But it's at number one for my reason. I have it head and shoulders at number one, comfortably at number one.
Yeah, me too. It was very, very good. I need to see it again.
Do you have a couple
I need to see it
underrated or overrated movies?
Yeah, I have a few. If you go first, I got a few.
I have 3 underrated movies, 1 overrated. Underrated, got another Netflix watch. Extraction 2. First Extraction was phenomenal. I don't think Extraction 2 is as good as Extraction 1.
That's Chris Hemsworth, right?
Yes. I mean, the action. If you just want a nice action movie that's gonna deliver, give you some cool ass fight scenes, you have Chris Hemsworth. Like, Netflix, turn it on. You're probably gonna fucking enjoy it. The story in the first one was a little bit better than the one in the second one, but they had a whole like 5-minute uncut action scene, which is fucking insane. That's one of my underrated ones. I have Creed 3, another one of my underrated ones. Came out, feels like years ago. Came out in March. Michael B. Jordan's directing debut on this movie. Creed 4 has already been confirmed to be happening. Phenomenal fucking movie. Makes you feel like shit about working out. Have to go get a pump after the movie. And then
have to.
My next one, another sleeper. Super, like this is like you have to search for these kind of movies, kind of sleeper. So, sucker for a thriller movie. This is the second to a movie called Searching, where it's like it's all based on like a webcam, and like it's the same presence with this movie called Missing. It's kind of the same exact kind of thing, but just different told. And in Searching, a dad's daughter goes missing, and Missing, a daughter's mom goes missing, and like it's them from all the portion on a MacBook being told from a story perspective. It's a thriller. It's obvious. I don't think it's better than the first one of kind of like I guess the series. I think Searching is top tier. Missing, super underrated. And my only overrated movie, and I hate to call it overrated, is Thanksgiving. I know you haven't seen it because it ain't your type of movie.
I heard about it. Yeah, I heard about it.
So going into the movie, you know, me and Connor are all into horror movies. So I'm looking up reviews because it's hard to hit on a horror movie for me. So I'm hearing the reviews and everything. I'm hearing this game-changing horror film, right? So I'm like, I'm going in. We're raising the expectations. Went in kind of low. We're going higher now. Went packed. Like, we were sold out in the theater. And it was a couple days after it released. So, go. And it delivered. Whoever wrote the jokes for the movie felt like it was in our friend group. Because I was dying at most of this shit. But, like, so it was the whole opening scene was, like, Black Friday shopping. But it was like the most absurd, crazy thing that would never, ever actually happen. And they never go back and realize why the fuck was it like that. Like, I'm talking like people were like dying in this opening scene on a Black Friday and like this like fucking Save a Lot Walmart kind of thing.
Okay.
So they're dying. But they never talk and go back of why everybody was acting so fucking crazy in the movie. The movie has a very good twist at the end that it's kind of hard, but the reasoning you never know. Cast is pretty good. The story's pretty good. I just thought I went in with a little too high expectations. And I feel like they could have...
They were marketing that movie a lot.
And I feel like I think it's going to be a Thanksgiving staple with how good it did, especially with this budget. There's just certain times in the movie where I'm like, God, I wish they just fleshed that out a little bit more. Or gave me a reasoning to why there was a fucking massacre and fucking Save a Lot in that movie, basically, at the start of the film. I mean, It was the most brutal opening to a horror movie I've, like, seen in, like, some time. I just think it's slightly overrated. I don't think it, like, changed the horror game. I don't even think it's the best horror movie of the year. Because I still got to give that to Saw because of what they kind of did to reboot that whole thing was great. But Thanksgiving, it's slightly overrated. I'm not going to say fully overrated. Slightly. I feel like it could have been a little bit more. I feel like they were cooking with something a little bit more. But if it's going to be a staple, I'm all for it.
Okay. All right, I got one underrated. One I don't know if it's even overhated or it's just ass. And I got one that's overhated. All right. For underrated, I got Blue Beetle. Probably the most forgettable movie of the fucking year. But that shit was so good. All right.
I'm hearing you.
I know it's an Iron Man knockoff.
I'm hearing you. It's a Mexican.
But the cast is fucking top tier. It's the Hispanic Iron Man. The cast is top tier. The storytelling going like with the Spanish life, like and all that. I know it's a fake city, but like it's good. All right.
I didn't know I needed
fire
George
storytelling
Lopez in my life in 2023.
George Lopez, fire. Zolo Maridueña, I believe is his name, is the cast for Blue Beetle. Fire. I'm glad because they have officially said that they're like bringing him into the DCU with James Gunn's new fucking DCU. They are gonna make that part of it, which is good. And the villain was ass, but like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? The villain's ass, and he beat him. All right, it's all right. But yeah, it was a fun movie. It's a fun family movie that was, I think, people just like kind of hated on it because like, oh, I've seen this movie before like many times, but like, I think it had some cool family aspects.
The blueprint of the movie was you kind of seen it before. I also think the movie, it sucks to say because a lot of these movies were kind of plagued due to the writer's strike and when they came
This one
out
got like fucked like
because they
a
weren't
lot.
able to really promote the movie at all. And I
Yeah,
feel like people automatically think it's a DC movie, it's going to be shit. And they kind of just go in there and like want it to be bad so they have something to say.
yeah.
But the Blue Beetle was very good. I think it was a
Like
very
this
good for what
movie,
it was.
like this movie, like looks like if you look at like box office numbers, it looks like it was just as bad as The Flash. And I promise
I
you, this movie
I
is 20 times the movie that Flash is.
I absolutely agree. I agree 100%. It's way
The
better.
few, like the few spots they fuck, I feel like they could have done a little bit more with the suit because like that suit can create any weapon. So like you could have done a little bit more with that,
Hmm.
made it a little bit cooler. But like, and they did a lot with like a very low budget from what I heard.
I'm
So it
just glad that
was pretty good.
they're bringing kind of that entire cast into the future
Yes,
of
thank
DC.
God, thank God. Now will we see like a lot of the family again? Probably not. But like maybe we'll see George Lopez
Yeah.
in something. I doubt we like odds we see a Blue Beetle 2 very low because the movie, like I said, did not do very good. But who
I'm gonna
knows?
go on a limb and say this is gonna end up being a perfect cast. Perfect
Think
cast for
so?
the person to play Blue Beetle. I'm gonna go on a limb
I
and
think so
say
too. I think he did great. One ass movie, or maybe it might be overrated just because maybe it's the big name. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was fucking terrible. That movie, like I just couldn't fall asleep. I tried to make myself fall asleep and I couldn't do it. Um, God, I hate they tried to like de-age fucking Harrison Ford. Looked awful. It looked so bad, and the first like whole 20 minutes of the movie doesn't matter. And well, I guess it does matter. It brings up the whole like the dial thing, but like it just feels so forced
see
and
that's
old.
a franchise that needs to just just hang him
You
up.
need to let it
You
go.
gotta
You
hang him
need to
up.
let it
You
go.
gotta hang him up.
Ugh.
Unless you want to like reboot the franchise and get somebody new in there. Like I'm sorry, actors just age out of roles sometimes.
Yes, and then they brought like time travel into everything. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. This is too
It's
much
an
for me.
Indiana.
I'm watching Indiana Jones. What is going on here? So shouldn't have done
That was
that.
your one
Awful
ass
movie.
movie.
Well, I have a bunch of ass movies
Oh,
like
for sure.
Strays, You People with Jonah Hill. No,
Strays.
Jonah Hill, stop making movies.
Okay.
Strays, too many dick jokes. You need to stop.
Okay. I don't know if you were with me, but I know Connor was. So like seeing the trailer for Strays in like the theater, you would think it gave me. Okay, have you seen Good Boys?
No, no.
Okay, Good Boys is like a comedy movie. I can't remember when it came out. A couple years ago. Good Boys. It wasn't a good movie. Some of the jokes delivered. It wasn't nothing crazy. It reminded me I'm like of the level of that, just like kind of a base level like comedy movie for like older people. But like
Yeah.
I don't know. Strays just sounds like it's
Okay.
gonna be ass.
It's like here's the thing. It did deliver on a few jokes, but like it's like it told 150 jokes and like delivered on like 15 of them. They told so many dog dick jokes, and I just too many. Like there's so many times where like I just hear an awkward laugh in the theater. I was in the theater with probably like 8 people total. I did, yeah, I know. I went to go see this movie instead of Oppenheimer. You just heard that. Uh, like it was just awful, and yeah, I just heard a bunch of awkward laughs or no laughing at all, and I would just like, oh, hand in the face. What is this movie? My one overhated Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Overhated movie. Wasn't great. Wasn't a great movie. There's definitely some script mess ups, and we've talked about this before, definitely. But like, not a terrible movie.
I don't.
I thought they did Kane good, except for the very end.
I think this was. I agree in the terms of overhate because it felt like the movie wanted to kind of be like how Infinity War was a Thanos movie. I feel like this movie needed to be more of a this is a Kang movie introduced to a casual fan that went to see a Marvel movie to kind of help break down what they can't break down in Loki because it feels like Loki was so goddamn complex at times in terms of as
Yeah,
a casual fan follows it. But looking at Quantum Mania, I think it sucks because Catherine Nugent is like actually a good actress, but like the writing was just so fucking
God,
bad,
the writing for her was just terrible.
so bad. The MODOK
Uh,
comedic relief didn't really deliver.
I thought MODOK was fine. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was just the CGI that was bad with
Yeah,
MODOK.
and
Besides that, I thought he was all right. I thought him asking to join the Avengers was fucking hilarious. I thought that was funny. Him saying, "Let's go. I'm an Avenger. I'm dying an Avenger." I thought that was funny.
I
I think that's top tier comedy.
I like okay.
He's a hero. He defeated Kang. He is in the Avengers.
I'm not. I never thought the movie was bad. I thought they
Right.
misstepped a couple times. I love the ending though, because we had theories about the ending when he's walking that same route at the end of the movie that he was at the start. We felt
And
like,
nobody talks
yeah,
about that.
we felt like he was in a different whole universe. But like no,
Yeah,
I didn't really
whole something,
see
whole different
I
something.
didn't really see anybody talk about it.
Nobody did, dude. Nobody has. I think that's crazy. I still think that like post credit is that post credit or just the end of the movie. It was just the end of the
But
movie. Was completely different time
yeah,
or universe or
I
something.
love Paul Rudd. Only thing I would have changed with this movie, I feel like you had to kill somebody off
Got to kill somebody. Got to kill one.
to really oppose Kang as being a threat. You have to kill somebody off. You have to like have something go.
Why like where is Hope's future in the MCU? And why like if they were to give me one reason as to why she needed to be in a movie after this, I'd be
You
okay
could
with
have even
it.
done Hank Pym.
Oh,
Who's been
I'd have been
around.
sad.
Yeah,
I would have been
somebody who's
sad, but
been
it's okay.
around for like all the phases of the MCU, really.
And that would people would have liked not people wouldn't have liked it, but it would have been like a sad moment. People would have resonated with it. Probably would have helped.
Mm-hmm. I think it
Probably would
definitely
have helped. Even killing Janet, bro, you got to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody just has to die. MODOK can't be the death.
Mm-hmm.
A villain, like someone who was a villain in the movie up until the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I love the way that they did Kang in this movie, except for the ending. I think they did a great
but like
job.
I think they made him terrifying. I thought watching this movie back, the jokes deliver. This is one of those movies where the jokes do deliver.
It's Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's just automatically funny.
And fucking I can't think of Hank Pym's actor's name right now, but Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas and fucking Paul Rudd, masterclass in that movie with comedy.
Deliver. He does deliver.
He delivered in that movie. So I just saved $8.
See, if they because we always talked about how I like how they did High Revolutionary in Guardians 3. I thought that was the best villain they've had in like since Thanos. And like I was like, oh my god, like I'm thinking of that. I'm like, wow, like him. If they just brought Kang to the level of High Revolutionary in terms of how bad he is, like oh my god, they wouldn't be like on exactly the right path they need to be.
For sure.
Because High Revolutionary,
that High Revolutionary was ruthless.
Yes, he like made.
Apple was ruthless.
He elevated Guardians 3 from what it has been in the past. A villain that you took seriously, that had motive, that had a story, that had a rhyme and reason of why he was doing it. Somebody who was in the MCU,
who had some pull, past some past pull in the universe.
Yes.
Like people know who he is.
People. Here's the thing: Marvel never wants to make somebody fully bad. They never want to make somebody fully bad. I'm tired of all this anti-hero shit. One of the main gripes I have with No Way Home is that they just turned basically every villain except for Green Goblin into an anti-hero. And I just think we forget these villains. Like they made the villains forget that no matter what, they're damn near
they're villains.
go back to die regardless.
Yeah.
Green Goblin, only person that wanted smoke in that movie. Only fucking person. So like that already, the MCU doing this whole anti-hero, making everybody an anti-hero kind of thing has been making me mad. It's like High Revolutionary is the only other villain that has been truly bad. And even Thanos was but Thanos' motives were so complex. But High Revolutionary, truly bad. They should have did this shit in Thor: Love and Thunder. Gore the God Butcher should have just been fully fucking bad. His whole motive throughout the movie was to kill the gods. Finally gets I forget they even make it to eternity.
Yeah, it feels like it's just a weird spot in the movie.
So they make it there, and then he just kind of turns into this anti-hero. I want to see pure bad. Like he's
He doesn't. I mean, like he doesn't go anti-hero. He just like forgets. Like
he
he just
forgets
like
why he's there.
forgets all that why he went there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he didn't really go anti-hero. He just saved. What did he do?
He
He
saved his daughter.
wished for his daughter's life back. Yeah. Which I I get, but like man, if you gonna kill a bunch of gods to get here,
And
come on, man, do the damn
in that
thing.
movie, why did we not see him kill all these gods?
Fuck,
You
bro.
have
I needed to see him come into Olympus and start fucking him
I
up.
could make a whole solo video on why Thor: Love and Thunder fucked up. I could rewrite Thor: Love and Thunder, and it could be a fucking masterpiece.
The comedy too much.
But comedy didn't deliver compared to Ant-Man.
That's one of the movies.
Yeah.
Comedy does not hit.
It doesn't deliver.
In Thor: Love and Thunder, it does not hit.
But we can kind of get into anticipated movies. 2024. I'm gonna go ahead and start. Dune Part 2. I know you have a lot of mixed feelings. I had a lot of mixed feelings about the first Dune. I feel like it was a complete first setup movie for the second one. I'm super excited for the second one to see it in theaters, but I'm going to see it in IMAX. It's going to be cinematically, it's going to be a masterpiece like the first one was. But I'm super excited to see how this story unfolds in Dune Part 2. Definitely one of my more anticipated ones. My next one, I'm a big fan of the Quiet Place kind of franchise.
Me as well.
And to see different angles of what they are doing with this is super interesting to see, especially because the trailer just came out a week or two ago. Like, if you've seen any of the Quiet Place movies, to have this be put in like New York, which is one of the loudest and like busiest cities, and to see how people react to it, it's gonna be fucking crazy.
It's a very interesting way for them to do it. I'm excited for this. It's gonna be
some
weird.
Of the kills that they could do are gonna be fucking crazy. Some of the spots,
Ugh.
It's one of those movies because the first one was basically just pure silence in the movie. Then the movie it was just pure silence. So like it's you see the tension like on the screen in moments.
Mm-hmm.
Emily Blunt gave birth in the first one in silence, mind you.
Yeah.
So
fuck.
And then the second one is like more talking, obviously, compared to the first one. But like this one is gonna be like off the fucking chain. I'm interested to see how people survive throughout this. Because in the trailer I can't think of his fucking name. I can't think of the actor's name. He was in Gran Turismo. He's the father in Gran Turismo.
Oh, I can't think of his name.
So he's actually in the second one, in the future. So he ends up surviving this one somehow.
Yeah, I can't even see his name. Not gonna lie. Jimin Hanso.
Because he's in the second one. So he ends up surviving this one somehow. I'm interested to see how they do that. And then my last one, like I said, big thriller guy, Long Legs. The marketing for it is absolutely phenomenal. It looks like it's going to be a movie that makes you feel uncomfortable, a movie that's going to put you on the edge of your seat. It's one of these crime kind of thriller movies, and I'm all for those kind of movies myself. And I'll probably end up going to see it in theaters. I know thrillers and horrors ain't really your thing.
Nope.
This is one to start the year, because there hasn't been anything I've really wanted to see this year so far. But like when this does come out, I need this to be like that thriller of the year, to where I'm gonna remember seeing this exact thriller movie.
Right. Okay. Man.
But those are kind of
some. Yeah. Obviously, you got the obvious one, Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I also honestly don't like a lot of the Sony projects. But Kraven the Hunter's coming out, and it looks stupid, but like, I'm gonna go see it. It looks like, it might be good, maybe. Kraven the Hunter's an interesting character to me, so
it's tough.
I like the actor. I can't think of his name, but he's a good actor.
It's tough because I feel like it's releasing at such a weird point in time, because Kraven the Hunter was never...
They moved it back a lot.
Because we've seen a version of Kraven the Hunter that people are going to be very familiar with from the Spider-Man 2 game. Because we haven't seen like a Kraven in live action or really anything. meaningful, I guess. And now the first thing when people see the Kraven the Hunter movie is going to be compared to Kraven in the Spider-Man 2 video game. In my opinion, that I feel like that's just how it's going to go.
Right.
But I'm honestly like I don't have hopes for that at all. I actually
Valid.
think
Yeah, you know what? The Sony projects are not good, so I don't fault you for
Mhm.
that. Another one, Venom 3. But the Venom movies are, you know what? Those movies have been good.
Yeah, Tom Hardy carries. Tom Hardy.
Yeah, Tom Hardy carries.
Yeah.
This is probably gonna be his last one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know where the hell they're gonna go with that, but I'm gonna watch it. That one comes. I think that one's slated for like November, so it's slated for very late this year.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks pretty good. My last one, man, Twisters. Twisters looks fire. All right, saw that yesterday or a few days ago for the Super Bowl. I saw the first Twister movie is probably in my top 5 for like how many times I've watched a movie, just because I watched it so many times as a kid with my family. Like, that is one of the first movies I remember having as like a DVD was Twister,
Twister.
and I watched that movie so many times. I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but it looks good. I saw the trailer; it looks good.
This can kind of pivot us into like the Sony universe that we're seeing because obviously we haven't seen Madam Web yet. It drops tomorrow. I have heard horrific things about this movie. Like, okay, so the two people I look at when I need to like, all right, I need an honest opinion, and it's really one person. I need an honest opinion about some movie, and he usually always has the answers for me. I go to Straw Hat Goofy on fucking TikTok. We go right there. He gives me the honest, full-fledged what he feels about the movie. He's being completely honest. So I go there. I'm like, damn, it's trash. He said it's basically garbage. Then I go to Soups. So I'm like, all right, what does Soups have to say? Soups started his TikTok out with saying, Mick, great job to the cast. It's so hard to put a movie out. So I'm automatically thinking, damn, this gotta be something crazy. This has to be like historically bad. And then they said it was worse than Mobius on Twitter.
Worse than Morbius?
Yes. They
No,
said it was
no,
worse
no.
than
It can't.
Morbius.
It can't be worse than
I
Morbius.
believe it.
No,
I believe
I'm
it.
sorry. I just can't
I
believe it.
it.
I'm gonna have to see this for myself. I don't believe that's worse than
I think
Morbius.
it.
I
I
watched
think
Morbius. Oh my, that was the worst movie. That was what? That was
Yeah.
2022. So that was the year of Dune. That and Dune, I remember I watched very close together, and I hated them both so much. There's no way it's just as bad as Morbius.
I believe it.
There's no way.
I haven't seen it.
They got Sydney Sweeney, Dakota Johnson. No way.
I heard.
No way.
I heard the writing is
I have heard that.
phenomenally bad.
I've heard that actually both of those actresses do a shit job. So
See, this sucks.
I've heard the other two Spider Women are really good though.
So apparently you called it. They were only in the suits for like 2 minutes of the actual movie. Like you said that,
which makes sense.
and like I remember whenever the trailer pops up, Connor's like, "This gonna be fire! Like we're going to see this. This is gonna be fire."
You're just saying that because it's fucking Sydney Sweeney. That's the only reason he's saying
And
that.
like I'm gonna go see it now with an open mind.
Oh, I'm gonna go see it.
And I'm gonna be like, okay, what went wrong here? I've heard a bunch of things. I'm gonna obviously see it for myself, but the reviews are outstanding. It's tied on Rotten Tomatoes for like the lowest with Morbius right now. I just heard the writing is a completely bad.
The only thing I saw was the clip of her getting rescued from that fucking like the car, and like it's where she basically gets her powers, I guess. And
The bad guy.
it's like, how does
doesn't
she
do
even get
anything,
him? How does she
I
even
guess,
get him?
Like in terms of development wise, just kind of there, has no real kind of crazy motive. But I will say, I'm gonna go see it. There is no post credit, so I hope this is just a one off. Fuck it, push it under the rug. But it does suck
Nah.
because I think Sydney Sweeney, whoever her agent is, we just got to do better. Like, how do we go from a phenomenal rom-com, who has done numbers, by the way,
What? Anyone but
Yes,
you?
who has done numbers from what I'm hearing. How did we go from that?
I heard it was
How
really
did we go
good.
from
I haven't
that?
seen it yet.
We go from that. Then we're in Madam Web, who I'm already hearing is bad, and then she's in this like weird horror film this year as well that comes out soon. That's like I don't even really know what to expect from it. I might go see it just because it's a horror flick, but like I'm kind of up in the air. So I'm like, for somebody that I feel like was on the up and up in terms of her acting career. Not saying this is gonna step her back at any means necessary like that.
I
I
doubt it
doubt it
does. I doubt
does,
it does.
but I'm just like, damn, like
I also think you're wrong. I don't think it's gonna be a one-off. I think they're going to like force these movies to become a thing, like to become a universe.
can I say something real quick?
Yes, yes. Go ahead. This is a safe space.
Why are we doing this? Like, why are we?
Because Spider-Man makes money.
But like, it ain't even Spider.
Not for
It ain't
them,
even
but
Spider
like
Man at this point.
because they can't. Like they can, but they can't. They don't want to. They don't want to split up Tom Holland. They can't use Tom Holland for this, and they don't want
For
to
fuck's sake, never.
make another
They
Spider-Man.
don't because Tom Holland is like the MCU. Like everybody's just waiting for the next Spider-Man movie to come out. But like,
Yeah, but and you can't. I This is what I think. I think they just can't use him, and they don't want to make a like fucking around making a new Spider-Man while there's another Spider-Man. It would be weird.
here's what I'm confused about.
Could be. It could happen. Fuck it. Bring Andrew Garfield back. Put him in these movies.
That's kind of what I was getting to. If you were going to make it in some certain universe and you wanted it to be kind of like your own Spider-Man universe, you already have the groundwork.
For the Amazing
You
Spider-Man.
already kind of have a story to go off of. So like you can just pick right back up from when Andrew Garfield gets back to his universe after No Way Home. Like that movie completely sets you up to do whatever you want to do with Andrew Garfield. Somebody who has said that he has no problem coming back to play the role if the story makes sense.
Yeah.
Mind you.
Yeah.
You already have the villains. You already have the story set in stone. You could start out going back with an Andrew Garfield movie, and I thought TASM 2 was super underrated. Got way too much hate. I feel like it's one of the better Spider-Man movies that I've seen. But like you have the groundwork already. You have the story. You have the actor. In my opinion, Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man through and through. I think he plays the Spider-Man part the best.
Yeah. I think you're right.
You already have his whole character development. So why there's no point to cast somebody new. You've been one to put Tom Hardy in the Spider-Man universe. You have all these characters. Just put them in the Andrew Garfield's universe. You're already. I don't understand why you're having this hope on Tom Holland, if they do or not, to kind of throw him in this universe when you already have a Spider-Man that people actually love. Compared to Tom,
yeah, I mean, a lot of people love
people like Andrew Garfield more than Tom Holland at certain times. Those fans.
I see it so much. People calling for him to get a third movie. Like it happens a lot more than like people don't just do that. Like it's just a thing where people continuously bring up the fact that they want an Andrew Garfield third Spider-Man movie.
I'm one of the people that would love to see Andrew Garfield get a third Spider-Man movie. Have him get his trilogy, and you could.
Yes,
they were setting it up. You're like, okay, bet they kind of had a lot going on with TASM 2 in terms of. I think the emotional part of TASM 2 is what carries the movie compared to like Electro. I think they completely. I don't know why you made Jamie Foxx blue. He's already a big name actor. I don't know why you fucked that up because he was perfect in No Way Home. They have that Jamie Foxx in TASM 2. They look at that movie differently, in my opinion. Green Goblin stuff, Harry Osborn, it needed to happen. Didn't really execute and deliver with that, but the emotion carried that movie, and it's like you were setting up him versus the Sinister Six, which they were kind of leading to that whole TASM 2 movie. So I'm like, all right, and then he never gets his third, and then I see a Kraven the Hunter project, I see a Madam Web project. I'm like, who is approving these movies? Whose idea is it to make a Madam Web movie when we could just make a Andrew Garfield third Spider-Man movie that will do numbers? I don't get why they are like beating around the bush. Venom movies are cool. I do like the Venom movies because I love Tom Hardy. I think those have a place. I don't need to see Kraven.
I even think Kraven the Hunter movie would be fine. I don't hate the Kraven the Hunter. It's the Madam Web is the one where I think is weird. That just feels like you're literally just trying to fight off the name Spider. Like you're just trying to use the name
That's
Spider-Man
exactly what it
and
was.
just use it. Using the characters is fine, I think, because like that at least like shows that maybe you're building up to a thing where like, you're building up to a Sinister Six at least, like where maybe at the end of the fucking animated trilogy, you do make a Miles Morales in live action, and we can use these. But when you're making a Madam Web movie that has no connection to Spider-Man,
It's
with four Spider Women that get Spider Women stuff for like 5 minutes, it just doesn't. It just feels like you're really just trying to rip off the
so
name.
Madam Web in like in the comic sense is like connected to Spider-Man, but like it's Sony and they
Yes,
found
but
a
like this one
yeah, and
isn't.
they
Yeah,
found a way to like they reference from what I've seen from reviews, they reference like Spider-Man in the movie, but like it's in like the weirdest ways. Obviously, we still got to see the movie to kind of see how it is. But knowing Sony
yeah,
and knowing their track record, I don't understand with how big No Way Home was and how much buzz Andrew Garfield had at that point in time. I would have
yeah.
immediately hopped on that because that would have done fucking number. I'm telling you, if they did an Andrew Garfield third Spider-Man movie, it would do astronomical fucking numbers. If they did it at that point in time, obviously with the writer strike, but if they said, "All right, bet we listen to the fans, we listen to the community around the MCU, we're gonna go ahead, bam, right here." Andrew Garfield's getting his third Spider-Man movie, and they're kickstarting a whole Sony universe. Now that you're opening this whole multiverse, where it's okay to have Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland exist in the same kind of realm in the movie era of being Spider-Man, because it makes sense.
Yeah.
But now it's to the point where, like, if they did it now, they'd be seem desperate.
Like it feels like you can do so much, but you're doing a Madam Web movie.
Exact
Like, there's so many different
with
things you can
how
do.
much Sony has had.
Like
Let's
the
make a
multiverse, all
Madam
this,
Web
it's
movie. That's
it's
what they
opening
said.
up your. Yeah, it's so weird. It opens up your options so much, and you just choose to make this 1990s feel Madam Web movie.
I don't think there's a problem with the character and how it is in the comics, but like, I didn't need a movie of it.
So what? She sees the future.
Yeah,
Is that what it
I'm gonna
is?
have to
That's
see this fucking movie tomorrow. I'm gonna have to see it.
yeah. I guess I just got to give it the benefit of I'm not even going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm just going to give it till
My
tomorrow.
gripe is more so with what Sony's doing compared to the Madam Web
Yeah,
movie.
and I'm still excited to see how the actors and actresses
Because they're
do.
building this like
You
sinister.
know,
They're building the Sinister Six the long way, and like having them all get their own movies.
the long way. Yeah, they really are. Like that's what I think. That's what I think they might be steering towards. Is literally just all right. We're going to give all the Sinister Six an origin, and then yeah, I think at the end of these fucking animated, they might like bring in a live action Miles Morales or bring Andrew Garfield back at the end of these Sinister Six movies and bang bang, huge movie where all these guys come together
Like, listen,
and it's
I
ass.
I promise Sony, I see the vision. I see what y'all trying to do. It just ain't
But y'all
working.
fucking
It
up.
just ain't working.
It's just not
We
working.
gotta
Like
pivot.
Morbius was
We gotta
ass.
pivot. We gotta pivot. We have.
Making Morbius was a weird move. That's a weird move.
I just. It's.
God, give me a Green Goblin movie. Fuck it. Fuck it. Why not? Give me a Green Goblin movie. I don't know.
I just. I'm a.
Like next, I'm about to get a lizard movie, aren't I? You're gonna give me a lizard movie, or
I'd
Scorpion.
rather just watch the entire like all the cutscenes from Spider-Man 2 in order. I'm just so
I don't know.
questionable of what Sony is doing. Like, who is
They
who is
are
green,
really just trying to build off that
who is
name, man.
greenlighting these projects? Like, there's no like. I
Some
am
no
never
name.
one for a movie to get scrapped and dumped, but there's somebody who watched Madam Web before it came out and was like,
And said, "Yeah, this is ready to hit the theaters.
"That's right. This is it.
This is gonna get us some money."
This is it. Right. This will be fire." Somebody watched Morbius.
The whole movie.
Somebody
They sit there and
sat
watch the whole
watched
movie.
Morbius and was like, "Yep, Jared Leto finna take us.
This
there.
is $1 billion. $1 billion. Jared
finna take
Leto.
us to the promised land." I'm sitting here. I'm like, no, like it's crazy. I've seen a lot of bad movies. I heard this was so like I'm talking like I've heard like audio is messed up. Like it doesn't even look like the people are the voices are matched up with what they're saying. I'm hearing some, bro. Yeah,
Really, you're hearing it's that
yeah.
bad?
I'm
Damn.
hearing some crazy shit, bro. I'm gonna have to go see it.
I'm gonna keep my mind open
Oh, I'm
until
going with open
I
mind.
see it. But I'm going in with an expectation that it is a 4 out of
I've
10.
also heard that there's no post credit.
I don't need a post credit,
I don't
honestly.
either.
Bro, don't show me these shit ass plans y'all are making. Matter of fact, don't show me it. I don't need to see it.
Mm.
Because next I'm gonna see a Scorpion post credit. Like I don't know. They're just gonna show me Michael Keaton again. They're just gonna show me Michael Keaton talking to fucking Madam
Oh
Web. I
my
don't want to see
god.
that.
Like the collab nobody wants is gonna happen.
They should just put up. They should have just put Michael Keaton in every single post credit.
Yeah.
Fuck it. And in some way, he should just be in all of them.
Like, cause he's a Tom Holland villain. And like, I just don't see
The
Tom.
Vulture, man.
Listen, Michael Keaton has Vulture. I'm here.
It was
I'm
good.
hearing you.
That
I'm hearing
scene, that scene in the car was
yes, I'm here.
fire.
That I need more.
That was the most Spider-Man he has ever
Yes,
felt. That's the most Spider-Man Tom Holland has
yes,
ever felt.
I need that. That's something I need. But like I don't know. There's just so much bullshit happening. But like this kind of like get us into like
Get us into the last topic.
the last kind of topic, kind of because it segues into that. But like, I guess the question is, have movies been getting worse year to year? Because we kind of touched on it earlier, and I wanted to come back to it. It's like when I look at like a movie, like in the realm of like 2019, 2020, when I see like the blockbuster movies, and I'm like, okay, in the middle tier, like they're not blockbuster movies, but okay, I see what they're doing. All around good year for movies. I feel like the past couple years, I'm just like, oh, like it's like anytime I go into a movie, I'm like, damn, like the writing was just so fucking bad, or like there was no story or character development. It was just kind of just like, here we go, here's the movie, we're putting it out, fuck it, like fucking Strays. And I think there is a place for movies like that, but I'm just looking at some movies where I'm just like, the writing could have just been so much better, and it will be like good actors and actresses in these movies sometimes, and I'm just like this is the best y'all could come, like this is the best y'all could come up with sometimes in terms of just the writing perspective, because I look at it as like, I want to be told a story, and I'm not saying every movie needs to be to the level of an Oppenheimer or an Across the Spider-Verse or like a fucking like even a Dark Knight trilogy or like an Inception or anything like that. I'm not saying every movie has to be like that, but sometimes when I'll go to the movie to like see something, I'm just like what the fuck did I just watch? Like what did I just
Yeah.
like sit an hour and 45 minutes through? And it could be on me. Maybe I'm just picking wrong movies to go to, but I just like going to the movies. And I'll kind of give every movie the benefit of the doubt. But I'm sitting here, I'm just like really?
There's some of them are just money grabs. Some of them are just money
I know.
grabs.
Like some of them are crazy money
Like
grabs.
I don't think, like, just answering the question, I don't think movies are getting worse. I think it's a few different things. One, I think honestly, just as time goes on, like we've seen so many movies, like you either gotta create new shit, like new types of movies, or like we're just gonna keep seeing the same things. Like if I'm going off of just what people said about Blue Beetle, like I liked Blue Beetle, but like I understand how people are like, okay, this movie looks like exactly like something I've seen before, and like I just am not gonna spend the money to go see it in theaters. I don't.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I just don't think people are going to see movies as much anymore, streaming and all that. Like I think there is really like a movie theater, just people aren't going to them as much anymore. But like really, besides like blockbusters, like you were talking about, like a lot of people just aren't going out to see these mid-tier movies, and especially like Indiana Jones, like that's just a money grab for these old movies that people still want to make just because it has the name in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I feel like some of these are. Like people, like I'm hearing people are going to make like another Shrek movie. Like y'all are just making it just because it's a name at this
We would
point.
always like during the trailers, movie. What's this movie called? Ducks. Like that was our joke we had. Ducks. That was, but it was
Ducks.
migration. and we were
Mm-hmm.
talking. That's where we got that joke. I'm like, how? Like some movies are just like. So here's two things I gotta say. I when it comes to all like kind of Pixar and Disney movies, Lord, not everything needs to be made live action. It just doesn't. Leave it animated. It looks. I love the way animated movies look, especially in like Pixar and Disney. Like I don't need to see certain princess movies in live action. Like God forbid,
No,
Kung Fu Panda 4 does fucking well. Let's make a Kung Fu Panda 4 fucking live action. Fuck it, let's do it. Like I
stop,
don't need to see
please.
some of this live act. I think if it's animated and it does great, leave it that way. Avatar: The Last Airbender, original series, fucking fire. We don't need live action.
Let's make a live action
It's gonna
Avatar.
look and it's gonna
No,
look the best. And the newest trailer for Avatar has looked better than the first one that came out years ago. But some animated movies, just leave them be. It doesn't need to be live action. I think it can, depending on what you're going for, it can look better as animated. But I really got this question from James Gunn doing an interview saying that people like writing in superhero movies has just gotten lazy, and like they're just kind of copy and paste same story to get a money grab. And I feel like that's kind of what, in a sense,
that's what like Taika Waititi did.
yeah, like
There's an interview with Taika Waititi like sometime throughout the year, and he was like, "Yeah, I didn't really want to do the Thor. I didn't really want to do Thor Ragnarok. I really just needed the money. It's like I wasn't really trying to go deep into the character. I was just like doing what I
see,
had to
Thor
do."
Ragnarok
It's like
was good because of
it
where
was.
Thor was as a character and the point where people weren't really fond of it.
Yeah, but that's just an example. I think there's a lot of people in Hollywood that are just like again just doing it for the money. Like, there's not a lot of like love for film out of these actors and directors sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. We're not saying that's every actor or director or anything else like
Oh, of
that.
course not. Yeah, yeah. And I'm not saying about any
But I
specific
just
thing.
feel
It's just
like some movies, just some writing, I'm just like, this is like bad.
I don't even need like I like those movies where it's like maybe I can just go in and have a good time watching it. But like movies like Strays where it's like fuck. Like, there's no vision. There's no story. There's no character development. It's just no.
A movie where I could go in there this past year and just have a good time with was, um,
Mine's Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle. I can just go in there and watch that movie. It's a good
I
time.
think because I
There's a
think
bunch of them
I
though,
felt
probably.
like there was a lot of hate towards Gran Turismo, so I wasn't seeing it for myself. But I felt I had a good time with that movie. I also think I had a really good time going to see like a Blue Beetle. I had a good time, even though it's semi slightly overrated. I had a good time going to see Thanksgiving. Like I had like
Right.
and like I had a good time going to see some of these other movies. But there's also like that one bad film. Like, and I feel like it's starting out because most of the time in a new year, January is always a down year for movies. But like I can't name a one movie where I'm like, mm, that right there, I will go see that opening night. Like it's not like, and the only movie that's coming up that I'm gonna be feeling that for is Dune Part Two. But I'm just like, I can't think of a movie in the month of January where I'm just like, damn, I'm gonna go see that. And then like I hear like Madam Web comes out and I see how bad that one does. And I'm just like Jesus.
Yeah, I didn't see a movie in January.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think movies are getting worse. I think we're like you still got like some great movies came out last year. I just think we're gonna see a lot more hate on lower budget movies and just not high tier movies because people aren't gonna go see them. Box office, I think box office numbers are not gonna like go crazy again. Like you'll see like the big number movies, but I don't think you're gonna see like a mid tier movie hit like 750 million just out of like people wanting to go see the
Yeah,
movies.
I'm hearing you. But I mean, it
You
could
know,
just also be like oversaturation of movies in general.
because like even like I'm looking at like yeah, oh,
I'm
100
just seeing
percent.
movies
Just
just
too many movies being
movies are
made.
just being made out of anything.
Yeah, but like I mean like Super Mario Bros. Movie. Why? I ain't gonna lie, it was mid as fuck. That movie was
I
so mid. You did not need
I
to make
liked
it.
it. I liked it.
But like
So
besides that,
much you can
like
do with
I'm
that
looking at this,
franchise.
there was a bunch of just random ass good movies this year. Like Asteroid City, good movie. Creed 3, really good movie. Murder Mystery 2, underrated movie.
That's right up your alley too.
But that's right up my alley. Rom-com, Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston.
I'm
Come on,
hearing you.
put that into my veins.
I'm hearing you.
But there's just a bunch of mid movies that you're not going to get people out to see. Why are we making an Equalizer 3? Denzel Washington's 85 fucking years old.
Listen, that sucked because I thought like it wasn't horrible, but from me being an Equalizer fan, the second one phenomenal, first one out of this world, and then the third one just really
Amazing.
didn't deliver and do it for me. I was kind of sad.
It did not.
I was honestly kind of sad.
It did not. It didn't deliver. I watched those movies back to back. Or maybe I didn't watch back to back. Back in the day. Those were fire movies.
So now,
third one comes out, hella hype.
now I'm
Nothing.
looking at kind of on Letterboxd, looking at 2023 in terms of just movies in general. Like, looking at some movies where like we would see them in trailer and be like, I don't know if I'm going to see that. A Haunting in Venice. Like we saw.
Didn't see it, but I remember hearing about it.
Like
Amsterdam. People, oh my god, that movie! I remember so much marketing for that movie, and then nothing.
Cocaine Bear.
It had so many names. Cocaine Bear. These random ass fucking movies.
Like you said, No Hard Feelings was good though.
I actually, well, no,
Oh, my fault.
I didn't. I didn't like it. I don't remember. I didn't say that. You definitely are not remembering it correctly because I rated it a 4 out of 10. I kind of hated it. I thought they did too much. I thought they were trying way too hard. Jennifer Lawrence was just weird, honestly. But a little bit of talk. We didn't even talk about TV shows. Loki, 3 season 2s that were fire this year. Loki season 2, The Bear season 2, What If season 2.
Bear season 3 comes out in June. I'm tuned in.
I'm tuned in. Give me that.
Season 2. There was never a doubt.
It was never a doubt.
Season 1 of the Bear.
We knew that was going to bang.
It was never a doubt. What if? Listen. The style.
I was a little surprised.
What if was released in terms of like during the holiday season, it was day. Like new episode throughout the days. But now, I like it. It's fan service. When you do it every week by week, it extends kind of the life period of the show.
Because you get to talk about it for the whole week.
In terms of
it elongates
of What If and like that whole animation thing, which I think is fire. That being released day by day, I think did wonders because I feel like people were more engaged. Me personally, I like to binge, so like I waited a couple episodes in and then I binged them. But like Loki,
I watched them every night just because of I like you said I liked the way they released them over Christmas, and I was with family at the time, and like my little brother also watches all the shit, so it was like we watched them together every night. I thought it was just a really cool way of them doing it. I thought like they released them in like a cool way of like based on the days, like on New Year's Eve or on Christmas Eve was the Happy Hogan episode, I believe, which was fire. I thought they did a great job.
I like how they kind of wrapped around and had season 1 still have implications in season 2, and they're kind of building it
they
around
used Captain Carter,
around Captain Carter as well. They're kind of building that What If universe around her, which I think is super interesting because it's somebody that probably isn't going to get any live action movie other than like we saw her
besides that Multiverse of Madness.
I'm glad to see them doing something like that because I love What If. I think it's the possibilities are
it's such a cool thing you can do.
And then Loki,
they also had the Loki tree at the end of it.
Loki tree,
which was cool.
Connecting the shows. I just never have any doubts with Loki. I think like just the writing, the stakes, the character development was all fleshed out.
Perfect show.
It's like it's like out of this world compared to anything Marvel's done since Endgame. In my opinion, it's that good, even from a TV series. Like it's the best thing they've done since Endgame, in my opinion, and
it's the best thing they've done in a minute. I don't know when they're gonna do anything as good as it.
It would be Deadpool, but Loki's that damn good to where like
but I don't think like it's just a whole different style. I don't think even if Deadpool bangs, I don't think I'll like it more than Loki.
The Loki week by week lore, just going on TikTok, like getting spoiled, like that is such like that's what I need. Like to where like if I didn't catch that episode, I can't hop on Twitter.
I can't hop on anything.
I love that feeling out of Marvel. In terms of the Bear, I mean, I was a little late to the party. I binged for seasons 1 and 2. Season 3, it's one of those shows to where like, and we both are servers, and like we both
Yeah.
work in that
So we
industry.
get it a little bit.
It's really some of the funniest shit. Like some of the most realistic stuff, and like
They go like a little. They go a little over the top with it, but it's like
oh
believable. Like
yeah,
I can 100% see some of this. Maybe not like the stabbing him, but like in the season 1, like she stabbed him in the fucking ass with a
the
knife.
to
But like besides
goes
that, like
the online,
shit that the to go
yes,
shit, like that could so
yes,
happen.
that is so believable to happen. Um,
The one thing about the Bears, I do wish they fleshed out his personal life a little more. I mean, I guess they really did at the end of the season too. But I guess I just want to know more about fucking the
yeah,
main
the
characters.
the end of season 2, it's a show that you watch and it's gonna make you frustrated because you're just like, that was just like, if I was there, that like he gets locked in the fucking
Mm-hmm.
freezer, and the whole thing about him like getting the new handle for the freezer was like popping up 3 episodes prior to him getting stuck in the freezer at the end of the season. That's how it ends,
Yep.
and like he has this love interest, and like it's one of the most it's one of the best shows I've ever watched personally. But like season 3 is confirmed it's gonna come out in like June or July. But
They've wrapped filming, or they're like filming right now, or something
they
like that.
said that they're gonna get more to like the cooking side of it.
Love
So
that.
it's gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be very
Yeah,
interesting to see what they do.
it's gonna be an interesting year. Not excited for too many movies, but there's a few hard hitters.
We'll
A
never
few hard
know.
hitters.
I'm hoping to be surprised, honestly.
Me too.
But you wanna wrap it up there?
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
guys for tuning into the Barrel Talk podcast. Hope you tune in to future episodes.